is very important to learn about the Croatian immigration to the U.S. The first major immigration of Croatians was recorded in the year 1715. Approximately 1,200 Croatians arrived in Georgia. Most of the first Croatians that migrated came to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Texas. The Americans gave them the nickname of the Croats. Their first purpose to come to America was to cross the ocean, come into the country, get rich, and then return home again, back to Croatia. First relatives to come to America.
There was 5 children and a mother and a father. We left Croatia to go to a refugee camp and lived in Italy for 6 years before we came to New Jersey.
An interesting fact to know about my family is that the reason my last name is spelled the Italian way instead of the Croatian way is because my grandma and great-uncle's family had to stay at the refugee camp in Italy before they had come to America. Where did your family go when they arrived here, and why did they want to come to America?
Well, we arrived in Hoboken, New Jersey, because that's where my mother had an uncle who sponsored us and found us an apartment in Hoboken, New Jersey. Why we came to America is because for a better life, so that we could work and eat and have things that most Americans do have.
Between the years 1880 to 1914 is when all of the Croatians and other Europeans started to migrate to the U.S. The Croatians were fleeing from poverty, land inheritance laws which they thought were unfair, and the quality of the weakening farming soil. What jobs did your parents have when they came here, and were they educated in Croatia before they arrived?
They were not educated in Croatia. Actually, my father did complete the 1st grade, and my mother completed the 3rd grade. But coming to Hoboken, New Jersey, my father was struggling to find a job his first year here. Finally, he became a longshoreman. And my mom, she got a job right away at a light bulb factory for 85 cents an hour.
Many Croatians headed for Chicago, where Croatian men became saloon keepers, and many also got jobs as steamship agents. A lot of this kind of work was available in the late 1800s, early 1900s. In the 1880s, Croatians got jobs in coal mines and steel industries. The Croatian wives did laundry and prepared meals for when their husbands came home from work. Women also worked in packing houses or other factories and set up small shops. Was New Jersey always your final destination while you were journeying to America?
Yes, New Jersey was our final destination. And we still live here in New Jersey.
What traditions did your family bring here that our family now celebrates?
Well, we do still have our foods that we still cook till today. And of course, when we have celebrations as Christmas, and also we celebrate Thanksgiving, we also cook our own stuff that we brought from Croatia. And also there's another tradition that our young girls wear at weddings or at Christmas or any type of festival is a traditional costume which is very colorful, and we call it kamizoti.
During the 1930s, it is estimated that 500,000 people who were Croatians at the time were living in America. Many of the first Croatians to migrate to America were unskilled men who wanted to make fortunes for their families and then return back. These men went back and forth from the U.S. to Croatia. They send their money back to their villages. I know I have kept saying Croatia, but here's a fun fact to know. Croatia didn't become their own independent country until June 1991. Croatia used to be a part of a few countries. The main one that had control was Yugoslavia. For a while, the Nazis in Germany took over all countries under Yugoslavia's control, including Croatia. After Germany was defeated in 1945, Croatia was made into a republic of the new reconstituted communist nation of Yugoslavia. The experience for Croatians coming to the U.S. in the 1930s to the 1950s was quite difficult. In 1940, there was a Department for Protection of the State which only allowed women and children from Croatia to go to America to join their husbands or other relatives. On July 16, 1941, President Theodore Roosevelt announced that the Croats are loyal citizens of the United States. Because of the outbreaks and wars going on back in their country, people were blaming them for the fall of Yugoslavia, and they did not want to return home to Croatia. Between 1956 and 1965, 25,000 Croatians immigrated to the U.S. As you can tell, Croatian immigration has a lot of history behind it. In the 1990 census, over 500,000 people live in America of Croatian ancestry. All are either of the second, third, or fourth generation. With my Croatian family history, my parents are the second generation in America of Croatians, and I am the third generation.